Hello, everybody, and welcome back to F1 TS Hub. We are here for our podium tier announcement for our 12th season at F1 TS Hub. So, massively excited to find out who's going to be featuring in our 7 p.m. podium tier this season. We've got some newcomers and some very known names appearing this season. So, yeah, really looking forward to revealing who is going to be racing. As I said, 7 p.m. is when the podium tier will take place every Friday night, barring any breaks in the calendar, which of course you can find out at www.f1tshub.com. Alrighty, so this isn't in any particular order. Obviously, we had our qualifying night last Friday, where all drivers took part to try and set their best lap time, which obviously helps us work out the tiers for season 12. So yeah, no particular order. We'll start off with the first driver in the podium tier is going to be Nick. So he doesn't have any stats to his name, but he raced with us last season in the Pinnacle tier. So he's racing in the podium tier this season. He's definitely going to be someone who will be right up there in the top five. We know he excels in wet conditions as well. So if there's any wet races, you'll definitely see his name at the top. Ols. So Ols again raced in the Pinnacle tier last season. He's racing in the podium tier this season. He's got one podium to his name and two drivers of the day. So you have to say he's definitely going to be another contender for the championship this season. So you've got Stevie G, who's new to the league. So big welcome to him. He'll be racing in the podium tier. Gaza. So we all know Gaza. He's raced with us for a while now. He's got 2 wins, 4 podiums, and 3 drivers of the day to his name. So you have to say he's going to be one of the quickest in this tier. I'm looking forward to seeing whether he can rack up some more stats and possibly even get a championship. Jorit, we saw Jorit join last season. He doesn't have any stats to his name, but he does have some top 5 finishes. He had a good scrap with Lukey last season. For those of you who watched the podium races last season, they entered into a bit of a rivalry, those two, on and off track. So it'll be interesting to see how Jorik gets on this season, whether he can start racking up those podiums. Jamie comes out of retirement, so he will be racing in the podium tier. He's got 3 drivers of the day to his name, and he'll be looking for that exclusive podium club that he ever so wants to join. We know he's got some 4th places, but yeah, we're looking forward to hopefully seeing on the podium, but good to have him back on track. So Dane Starr, he raced for the last season. He's got a podium that he scored last season. So again, he was another top driver in the podium tier last season. He'll continue in this tier this season. AOR Gizmo. So big welcome back to him. He had to leave early last season, but he'll be racing again in the podium tier this season. Be interested to see what he can do. Jonas, yeah, 3 podiums to his name, 1 driver of the day. He raced in the podium tier last season, and again, he'll be racing in this tier this season. Yeah, definitely one of the drivers who can definitely score top 5 finishes, and often starts on the harder compound and goes long into the race. So we'll see how that works out for him. Alrighty, we got Rex in the podium tier again this season. He won a Constructors World Championship with his ex-teammate Reflo, who of course isn't in this tier this season. So Rex back in the podium tier. Let's see what he can do. Ermi, so our most successful driver at F1 TS Hubs. He's got a whopping 32 wins, 47 podiums, 30 poles, 3 Drivers' World Championships, 3 Constructors' World Championships, a Sprint-to-Sprint Championship, and 4 Drivers of the Day. So if you're wondering why he's in this tier with all those stats, he hasn't played the last 2 games competitively on league racing. I don't even think he bought last year's game. And he wants to return to league racing, and of course there's nowhere else he'd rather race than F1 TS Hub. So big welcome back to him, and let's see how quickly he can improve and whether he's able to put on any sort of challenge or anything like that. So D-Boy Dan, big welcome to him. We had him in the late night talk show on Sunday. It's good to chat to him. So he's just kind of looking to find his feet in the league. So we'll keep an eye to see what he's able to do. White Eagle, he's returning from last season, often scored points. So yeah, let's see whether he can build on that on F1 2018. Dazik is a new driver, so big welcome to him, as is Only One Phase and Russ. All 3 of those will be in the podium tier this season. So yeah, again, we'll be looking to see what they can do, whether they can challenge any of the known guys. So Stevie's returning. He's got a driver a day to his name. So yeah, again, we're going to see what he can do. He didn't race last season. It was a season before he did race. So let's see what he can come up with, and possibly get into those points, top five finishes. Let's see. Who knows? Razard, he's raced with us for so long now. Wins. He's got his first win last season. He raced in the podium tier. He's got 14 podiums. Doesn't have any poles, but he has 7 drivers of the day. So he is definitely someone to look out for. We thought he'd be in the championship fight last season, but he just kind of drifted away from him. But let's be optimistic. See what he can do this season, and he's definitely one of those drivers who deserves to at least be in with a shot of the championship. That's for sure. So Game Sat raced with us last season. He put some good performances towards the end of the season. I know myself and Sean, who commentates on the podium tier, were impressed with some of his drives. So yeah, looking forward to see what he can do this time out. And then finally, it's going to be Liam. So he will be in the podium tier. He's got a podium to his name in our F1 TS Hub stats library. So yeah, he'll be joining the podium tier again this season. And that is your 20 drivers. So obviously 20 drivers per tier. We don't do reserve drivers. You've still got another 40 spaces left to reveal tonight in our Pinnacle tier, which races at 8 p.m. and of course will be revealed at 8 p.m. And then 20 drivers in our Prestige top tier, which will be revealed, of course, at 9 p.m., which is when they race on a weekly basis. So just like to give a shout out as well to Razart, Stevie, White Eagle, AR Gizmo, Jamie, Jorah, and Gaza for all racing premium this season. Massive thank you to your support, but all the drivers to your support and for joining us for season 12. We can't wait to get you guys out on track. Yeah, and in terms of what happened now, don't forget to tune in to the late night talk show every Sunday with myself and Jono at 9:30 p.m. UK time. In terms of what happens now, so team contracts are open for you guys. So if you go over to www.f1tshub.com, under the apply to race column, there will be tab, not a column, sorry. There'll be something called team contracts. If you click on that, you will head over, and this is how you apply for teams. There's a tutorial video that you can watch on that page. You can also find it in our YouTube library under tutorial videos. Basically explains all about team contracts and how they work. You can find all the stats of the teams on that page as well. And yeah, you'll basically be able to go and apply for the different teams, which are split into 3 categories. Obviously, you've got Ferrari, Mercedes, and Red Bull, the first category, and then 4 in the middle category and 3 in the bottom category. There'll be a form to fill out, which basically asks for your PSN, what tier you're applying for, which of course for you guys will always will be the podium tier, and then which of the 3 teams, so Mercedes, Red Bull, Ferrari. Obviously, if you click on one of the other groups, it'll be the other teams in that drop-down box. There'll be team expectations to read. There's team criteria that you have to agree to meet. There's also strength and attitude preference. So what these teams prefer in terms of attitude and how you perform on and off track. Yeah, as I said, there's season objectives that these teams want to achieve. Obviously, the top teams are going to have higher objectives, but they're also going to want a higher criteria to drive. So yeah, so the criteria to drive are on that page as well. So don't apply for a team that obviously you don't have the stats to warrant a place, otherwise your application will be unsuccessful. But head of teams Jamie's taking care of all that for us again this season. He did a brilliant job last season, and yeah, it'll be interesting to see who applies to which teams. You don't have to apply, of course. You can only contracts will be offered to 10 of the 20 drivers, and of course the other 10 will then get picked next Friday when we have our teammate selection evening. So yeah, if you don't want to apply for a team, you can just wait and be picked. So for example, if you wanted to be in drive for Mercedes, wait for someone to get accepted for Mercedes, and then you message them and obviously say, can I be your teammate? And that's probably the best way to go about it. But obviously, if you do have the stats and the criteria to back up driving for a top team, then by all means go and apply for it. You can apply for as many teams as you like. So yeah, you won't be successful on all of them, but you might get more than one offer come back through, and obviously then decision's up to you. But as I said, have a read through that that team contracts page. It's got all the info on there. It's got a tutorial video. By all means, ask myself or any of the management team at F1TS Hub questions. If you do have any, of course, drivers who have raced with us last season will have gone through this process. It's a really fun process. Really makes you feel like you're, living the life of an F1 driver, which is obviously what we encourage at F1TS Hub. So yeah, that's pretty much it for me live on stream for this one. So as I said, that is our podium tier. I'll run through it again just before I sign off. Our pinnacle tier at 8 p.m. will be announced then, and then our prestige tier at 9 p.m. will be announced there as well. So you got Nick, Ol, Stevie G, Gaza, Jorit, Jamie, Danestar, AR Gizmo, Jonas, Rex, Ermi, D-Boy Dan, White Eagle, Dazik, Only One Phase, Russ, Stevie, Razart, Gamersat, and Liam. So big congratulations to the 20 of you, and of course best of luck in the podium tier this season. You will be racing at 7 p.m. Make sure you check out that calendar page so you can get the dates in your diary. Thank you to everyone for watching, and as I said, I'll be back at 8 p.m. for the next one.